Hi, and welcome back to week 2 of the Worry and Anxiety course. My name is Julie. This course has been adapted from our CBT Coping with Worry and Anxiety group, which is run in the south of Glasgow. I suggest that you follow these modules once a week, starting from week 1 through to week 6 if you're new to the course. You can always listen to specific sessions at a later date if you think this would be helpful. You may also find it helpful to take some notes, so I suggest you find a pen and paper before you continue. In the last session, we spoke about what worry and anxiety is. We spoke about the vicious cycle of worry, the different types of worry that we might have, and what can keep worrying going. First, let's look at the homework. How did you get on with your worry diary? Did you make any observations? Did the things you feared happen? If they did you cope better than you expected? Today we're going to talk about anxiety and how this affects the body and what you can do to manage your physical symptoms of anxiety. Let's first recap on our vicious cycle. Remember, this suggests that the way we look at things leads to changes in our body, our behaviors, and our feelings. In this session, we'll be looking at the impact of anxiety on the body and its role in keeping the vicious cycle going. This is Cameron's vicious cycle of anxiety. When he's at work, Cameron's boss comments on his performance, and this leads to changes in his thinking. I'm rubbish at my job, why can't I get it right? I'll get fired and my family will get into debt. He feels tense in his body, he feels sick and he develops headaches. He also starts to make mistakes and he now feels very anxious, worried and embarrassed. Take a moment to note down what you notice in your body when you feel anxious. We're now going to talk about the fight, flight and freeze response, which is important in relation to anxiety. The fight, flight and freeze response is an automatic survival mechanism which we have to protect us. When we sense a danger or a threat, we experience a strong emotion called fear, and this leads us to feel anxious. Fear and anxiety trigger a chain of automatic events in our bodies that prepare us for action, either by fighting, running away, or freezing. An example of the freezing response is an animal playing dead. This is often just called the fight or flight response and can be traced back to our need for survival in the past. Fight and flight response is a normal and helpful response when we're faced with an immediate physical danger or threat. For example, if you hear a burglar in the middle of the night, your fight or flight response might get turned on. As a result, your body would go through a series of physical changes. The fight and flight response is normal and helpful when we're faced with an immediate danger, such as a bear. This is a system that we can't survive without. However, this becomes unhelpful when it's switched on if the threat is low or happens in a situation where there's no real danger or threat to our life. For example, when speaking in front of people or queuing up in the supermarket. Some people can feel so anxious for various reasons when they're faced with these types of situations that the fear in their mind causes the fight and flight response in their body. The fight and flight response is accompanied by a number of physical symptoms. Your heart starts to beat faster. This is so your heart can take blood where it's needed the most, for example to your legs so you can run, or to your arms so you can fight. Although this can feel uncomfortable, it's important to remember you're not having a heart attack, and this is a normal response to anxiety. Your breathing also quickens and becomes shallow. This helps oxygen to be carried around your lungs, arms and legs via the bloodstream. The side effects of this may be chest pain, breathlessness, a choking feeling or blurred vision. Although you feel dizzy, you will not faint. And this is because to faint, your blood pressure has to drop, and when we are anxious, our heart is beating faster and our blood pressure is temporarily raised. Let's go through some of the common symptoms of the fight or flight response that people experience in response to anxiety. First thing that happens is the adrenal glands releases adrenaline, and this signals for the body to be ready to respond to the danger. Other things that happens is that the muscle starts to tense up so we can run or we can fight. Some people also experience that they start to shake and tremble, and this often happens if we're standing still because we aren't using the extra energy. At times, people say that their mind starts to race. And this is because quicker thinking helps us to evaluate danger and make quick decisions. Some people also experience blurry vision. And this is so we can pay more attention to the danger. You might also notice that you get tunnel vision or your vision becoming sharper so you can locate where you can run to. At times, people also say they experience dry mouth. And this is because the mouth is part of the digestive system, which shuts down when we enter dangerous situations because the energy needs to be diverted towards the muscles where it's needed more. The heart also starts to beat faster. This is so more blood can be taken to the muscles and enhance our ability to fight or run away. Some people also say they experience nausea or butterflies in the stomach, and this is because the blood is diverted away from the digestive system, and this can lead to feelings of nausea or butterflies. At times, our hands might also get cold. This is because the blood vessels contract in the skin and the blood is forced towards the major muscle groups. Our breathing also quickens and becomes more shallow. Quicker breathing takes in more oxygen, and this is energy for the muscles. The thing is, though, that if we don't use up this energy to run away or to fight or when we exercise, we can quickly start to feel dizzy or lightheaded. Other times people say they need to empty their bladder or bowel, and this is so we can be light and we can run away. We also work faster when we're cold, and sweat is the body's way of cooling itself down. Therefore, we often sweat when we become anxious. The symptoms of a panic attack are similar to those of anxiety, and it's important to know how these are different. The symptoms of panic are more intense and does not last as long as anxiety. The symptoms of anxiety are usually less intense, but can last for longer periods of time. A panic attack is a sudden rush of intense feelings and changes in the body. Panic can be very frightening and highly uncomfortable. It happens suddenly and often for no clear reason. It tends to last for about 5 to 20 minutes. Many people will experience panic at some point in their life, and 1 in 3 will experience at least one panic attack at some point. Many people recover from panic with no need for treatment, and when treatment is required, it's usually short and often successful, and CBT is considered to be the gold standard treatment for panic. So how does it start? Panic can start for a number of reasons. Situations that we see as threatening, such as going to a supermarket and speaking in front of a crowd. It can also be bodily sensations that we see as threatening, our heart beating faster, feeling faint, or feeling dizzy. It can also be thoughts, images, or memories that can trigger a panic attack. Although the physical sensations you experience when you're anxious can be unpleasant and scary, it's important to remember they're not harmful. Also, you may naturally want to escape the situation that is making you feel worse. However, you will find that if you're able to face your feared situation, your anxiety will come down, even if you stay in that particular situation. This is illustrated on the graph on the next slide. When we face our feared situation again and again, a process called habituation takes place. What this also means is that we get used to something. When we do this, we will find that our anxiety becomes slightly less than the time before, and will pass more quickly every time we expose ourselves to a situation we fear. This should happen each time we face our feared situations. When you look at the graph, you can see that the levels of distress on the vertical line and time on the horizontal line. Over time, the distress becomes less and less. Changes in our thinking can also make us feel more anxious. On the next slide, we'll talk about some of the thinking styles in panic. We may sometimes jump to conclusions and make negative predictions about what will happen in the future, although we don't have very much information. For example, my heart is pounding, I must be having a heart attack. I feel terrible, I must be getting seriously ill. My mind is racing, I must be going mad. Or, I can't breathe, I don't think I'm getting enough oxygen. The symptoms of a panic attack can be very frightening, and sometimes people will say that they mistake these for a heart attack. It's therefore important to know the difference between a panic attack and a heart attack. People who experience a heart attack describe the chest pain as crushing with the pressure felt in the center of the chest, and this may extend down the left arm, neck, and back. This is usually not made worse by pressing on the chest, and if there is pain, this tends to persist for longer than 5 to 10 minutes. In contrast, a person who is suffering a panic attack described the chest pain as sharp and felt just over the heart. This is usually made worse by pressing on the center of the chest. Also, the symptoms of panic attacks usually start wearing off after 5 to 10 minutes when you start the process of recovery. Tingling is usually felt in the left arm if this is present in a heart attack, whereas it's felt all over the body in a panic attack. The main difference is a person who is in the midst of a heart attack often vomits. A person who is suffering through a panic attack may feel sick, but vomiting is rare. Finally, heart attack victims will rarely experience the rapid breathing that accompanies panic attacks. So remember that although panic attacks can be very stressful and uncomfortable, they're not dangerous and they will not cause you harm. There are different ways to manage the physical symptoms of anxiety. For example, through controlling our breathing. When we are in a panic, we've spoken about our breathing becoming irregular, shallow, and more rapid. And one of the most common symptoms of anxiety is hyperventilation, which is when we overbreathe. When this happens, we're breathing too fast and taking in more oxygen than we need. This can cause tightness of the chest and lots of other unpleasant physical sensations, such as feeling faint. Relaxation is a very useful way of coping with the physical symptoms of anxiety. When someone has been anxious for a long time, they're often unaware of the tension in their muscles or the knot in their stomach, which is a result of the body's reaction to stress. A consequence of tense muscles in response to stress and anxiety can be headaches, backaches, or tightness in the chest. These types of aches and pains can cause mental worry, making us even more anxious and tense. People who are anxious and tense are often tired. We're now going to look at and practice a few relaxation exercises which you might find helpful in managing your stress. Controlled breathing, also called diaphragmatic breathing, is an easy way to take control of your breathing and physical symptoms of anxiety. When we're anxious, we breathe more and faster, and this can feel uncomfortable, leading us to feel more anxiety. By slowing our breathing down, we signal to our brain that we're in control and not in danger. When we practice controlled breathing, we breathe with our stomach rather than our chest. Also, try to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. We should aim to practice this for 5 to 10 minutes each time. Make yourself comfortable and place both feet flat on the ground. If you feel comfortable, I suggest you close your eyes whilst I guide you through this exercise. If at any point you feel uncomfortable, stop and come back to it when you feel ready. Now, place one hand on the top of your chest and one hand on your stomach. In this exercise, we're aiming to breathe slow and deep into our stomach. Start to breathe in slowly and count 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out. Count 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to imagine that you have a balloon in your stomach, and with every breath in, your stomach should move out slightly, like you're inflating this, and move in a bit with every breath out, as if you're deflating this. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and out, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue to breathe, slowly counting to 4. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and out, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a couple of more breaths, and when you feel ready, turn your attention back. When you're using this technique, try to focus on your breathing and count to 4, or say the word relax as you breathe out. You should practice calming your breathing many times before using it to control your symptoms of anxiety. You may also find that it takes many attempts before you're able to breathe calmly when you feel anxious or panicky. It's a good idea to practice this technique when you do not feel anxious, so you can easily use it when you experience anxiety. Progressive muscle relaxation, or PMR, is another relaxation strategy that can be useful to manage the tension which can arise as a result of anxiety and stress. When we're anxious, our bodies tense up, and this can cause headaches, backaches, and muscle tensions. PMR involves actively tensing and relaxing all the major muscle groups in our body. Let's try it. First, make sure you're sitting comfortably. Have your lower back supported, your feet flat on the floor, and your arms and legs uncrossed. If you feel comfortable, I suggest you close your eyes as I guide you through the exercise. If you experience discomfort in any parts of your body when we're going through the exercise, feel free to skip the body part and move on to the next with me. First, make a fist with both of your hands and squeeze tightly and hold for 5 seconds. Notice the tension and how it feels. Counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now release and count to 5. Notice the feeling of relaxation in your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push your shoulders towards your ears. Push them up as high as you can and notice the tension. Hold for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And release. Notice the relaxation across your neck and shoulders. Count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, let's move down to our feet. Curl your toes tightly and notice the tension in your feet. Hold for 5 seconds and then release. Notice the relaxation whilst you count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Imagine the tension moving slowly down your body, pushing down from your shoulders through your arms and out your fingers. Try to imagine relaxation spreading throughout your body, giving you a pleasant sensation and feeling of calm. PMR is a technique that takes practice, like when you're learning any new skill. If you continue to make time for this in your day-to-day life, you're going to notice the benefits. I suggest you set aside 5 to 10 minutes each day to practice relaxation exercises. And you can also download a track from our website to help you with this. This will cover more body parts than we did just now. When we're stressed or anxious, our minds race and it's hard to feel calm. Imaginal relaxation helps us to escape from our anxieties and worries. This is a way of giving yourself a mental vacation from the stresses you encounter on a daily basis. Imaginal relaxation can be guided or unguided, and it can be very helpful for people who struggle with sleep. You might find inspiration in some of these photos when you try to imagine a peaceful place. It can be somewhere you have been or somewhere you would like to go. I'm now going to guide you through this imaginal relaxation exercise. Before we do this, make sure you sit comfortably, and if you feel comfortable, I suggest that you close your eyes. The purpose of this peaceful relaxation exercise is to relax your mind and guide you to imagine your own peaceful and safe place. This place will be an imaginary area that you can visualize to help calm and relax your mind when you're feeling stressed. Begin by setting aside a few minutes so you can relax without having anything else you need to focus on. Find a comfortable position. For the next few moments, focus on calming your mind by focusing on your breathing. Allow your breathing to center and relax you. Breathe in and out. In and out. In and out. Continue to breathe slowly and peacefully as you allow the tension to start leaving your body. Release the areas of tension, feeling your muscles relax and become more comfortable with each breath. Continue to let your breathing relax you. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and out, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue to breathe slowly, gently, and comfortably. Let the rate of your breathing become gradually slower as your body relaxes. Now, begin to create a picture in your mind of a place where you can completely relax. Imagine what this place needs to be like in order for you to feel calm and relaxed. Start with the physical layout of the place you're imagining. Where is this peaceful place? You might envision somewhere outdoors or indoors. It may be a small place or a large one. Try to create an image of this place. Now, picture some more details about your peaceful place. Who is in the place, or are you alone? Are there any animals, any birds? Imagine who's in your place with you, whether it's just you or you have company. Imagine even more detail about your surroundings. Focus now on the relaxing sounds around you in your peaceful place. Now, imagine any tastes and smells that your place has to offer. Imagine the sensations of touch, including the temperature, any breeze that may be present, the surface you're on. Imagine the details of this calming place in your mind. Focus now on the sights of your place, the colors, the shapes, the objects, the plants, water, all of the beautiful things that make your place enjoyable. To add further detail to this relaxing scene, imagine yourself there. What would you be doing in this calming place? Perhaps you're just sitting and enjoying the place, relaxing. Maybe you're walking around or doing any other activities. Picture yourself in this peaceful place. Imagine a feeling of calm, of peace, a place where you have no worries, cares, or concerns, a place where you can simply rejuvenate, relax, and enjoy just being. Enjoy your peaceful place for a few moments more. Memorize the sights and sounds and sensations around you. Know that you can return to this place in your mind whenever you need a break. You can take a mental vacation to allow yourself to relax and regroup before returning to your regular roles. In these last few moments of relaxation, create a picture in your mind that you will return to the next time you need a quick relaxation break. Picture yourself in your peaceful place. This moment you're imagining now, you can picture again the next time you need to relax. When you're ready to return to your day, file away the imaginary place in your mind. It's waiting for you the next time you need it. Turn your attention back to the present. Notice your surroundings as your body and mind return to their usual level of alertness and wakefulness. Keep with you the feeling of calm from your peaceful place as you return to your everyday life. Learn more on how to practice the techniques that we've just covered by using these apps. 5-minute relaxation and breathe to relax. You can also look at the Wellbeing website where we have a number of free audio resources. Sometimes thinking about the physical symptoms of anxiety only makes them worse, and distraction techniques can therefore be helpful. This might include reading or talking, playing mental games, describing your surroundings, and staying active. Other helpful ways to relax is relaxing your shoulders and avoiding tightening and stiffening up. Try to avoid fidgeting. Keep your concentrations on your surroundings and the here and now. Try to stay calm and don't rush. For example, slowing down your speech. Talking to yourself in a positive way can also be helpful. Say to yourself, relax, I can deal with this, or keep calm, it's going to pass. Regular exercise is important for managing stress. Exercise can help you combat stress and release the physical tension. Exercise could be walking, running, cycling, yoga at home, or gardening. This helps reduces the body's stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol. And exercise also stimulates the production of serotonin and endorphins, which are the body's natural mood elevators. Being more active during the day will also help you sleep better at night. Watching your caffeine intake is an important part of managing anxiety. Caffeine is a stimulant which affects the brain and the nervous system, and too much caffeine can leave us feeling nervous, irritable, restless, agitated, shaky, can also give us headaches and increase our heart rate, speed up our breathing. These are all symptoms which are close to those of anxiety. Many things contain caffeine, including tea, coffee, fizzy drinks, chocolate, and some medications such as cold and flu tablets. Usually when these are marked with a plus, they contain caffeine. If you have difficulty sleeping, you may also find that reducing your caffeine intake helps to improve your sleep. If you think you would benefit from reducing your caffeine intake, I suggest that you do this gradually to minimize the risk of symptoms such as headaches in response. Watching your alcohol intake is an important part of managing anxiety. People sometimes use alcohol to manage their nerves, and some find that this eases anxiety short term. However, alcohol can leave us feeling more anxious the next day, and long term, it can become a dependent. When consuming alcohol, we might also experience symptoms such as nausea, sweating, and shaking, which are symptoms similar to those of anxiety. Drinking too much alcohol will disrupt your sleep, which can make you more prone to anxiety. Try to reduce your alcohol intake and make sure that this is within the recommended limits, which is 14 units a week for males and females. Having a good sleep hygiene can also help when you're trying to manage anxiety. Anxiety often leads to difficulty sleeping, and a poor sleep can leave us feeling more anxious the next day. A regular sleep routine can help with this. This includes not spending any more than 8 hours in bed. Try also not to avoid using screens in bed, including phones, tablets, or TV, as the blue light can make us more alert. Having a winding down routine, which includes putting the day to rest in an early part of the evening, can be helpful. If you find this difficult, make a to-do list and deal with any problems or worries you have well before bedtime. Make time for relaxation for at least 90 minutes before going to bed. Listen to music, read, or do a puzzle. Sometimes it can take some time before you see the difference after implementing changes to your sleep routine. So if you do not experience a difference straight away, this does not mean it's not working. Today we've spoken about the fight or flight system, how to manage the physical symptoms of anxiety using relaxation techniques. We've practiced controlled breathing, PMR, and imaginal relaxation. And we've discussed the benefits of exercise and the negative impacts of caffeine and alcohol upon anxiety. Over the next week, try to practice controlled breathing, PMR, and imaginal relaxation daily. Set aside 10 to 15 minutes a day when you do this. Try to keep a relaxation monitoring diary and record how you feel before and after you practice these techniques. Try to exercise for 30 minutes for at least 3 days over the next week and keep filling out your worry diary. Thank you for taking time to watch week 2 of the Worry and Anxiety CBT course. I hope it's been helpful. In the next session, we're going to talk about problem solving and how to challenge your worries.